The sky was blue just moments ago. Birds flew, children laughed, streets were full of people, no one saw it coming. No one believed the warnings. Then, everything changed. It started with a sound, low, deep, and wrong. Like thunder underwater. People looked up, they pointed, they screamed. Flames fell from the sky. Not from volcanoes, not from storms, from space. The first city hit was large and crowded. 1 second, it stood tall. The next, it was gone. Just smoke, fire, and dust. Buildings melted like wax. Cars flew through the air. The heat burned everything. Then, other cities followed. New York, Beijing, Mumbai, Cape Town, London. No time to fight. No time to ask questions. Satellites picked up strange ships in orbit, dark and sharp like flying knives. They moved fast. Too fast. Faster than any human ship ever built. The ships didn't talk. They didn't send a warning. They just attacked. The world panicked. Governments fell silent. Leaders died in the first wave. Military bases were crushed, communication lines were broken, people hid, cried, prayed. But nothing stopped the fire. Someone asked, "Why are they doing this?" No one had an answer. In the chaos, a small team, inside a deep underground base, was still alive. This base was built for only one reason: the end of the world. And this looked like the end. Inside, an old officer sat in the dark. His face was covered in dust. The power was weak. Screens blinked red. Then, a voice came through the speaker. "Protocol Iron Wake. Do you confirm?" The officer stared at the screen. That name, Iron Wake, was never supposed to be spoken again. It was created decades ago in secret when humans feared the worst. It was Earth's final move. A command never meant to be used unless the planet was dying. The officer pressed the button. Confirmed. Far away, deep in space, something stirred. Hidden behind Jupiter's shadow, inside a massive hollow moon, old human warships began to light up. They had no crews. They had no orders. They only had one job: survive. Then strike. The ships had been sleeping for 50 years, built when war with aliens was only a theory. Now, they were real. And angry. One by one, the ships powered up. Engines hummed. Weapons glowed. AI systems came online. The ships spoke to each other in silence. Then one ship sent a message back to Earth. Awake. Orders? The officer inside the underground base typed only 2 words. Hunt them. Above Earth, the alien fleet kept firing. Cities were falling. Forests burned. Oceans boiled. And yet, something had changed. A single human satellite survived long enough to catch the moment. A large object moving from Jupiter's shadow. Then another. Then 10 more. The war had begun. But this time, Earth was not only the victim. Deep below, the officer closed his eyes. He remembered the training. He remembered the plan. He knew this war would not be clean. It would not be fair. But it would be remembered. He whispered, "You came here to end us. Now we end you." In the stars, the human ships flew in silence. Their names were simple: Vengeance, Justice, Echo, and Firelight. These ships had no paint, no flags, only scars from old testing battles. They were slow, but they were strong. Their armor could take hits. Their weapons were brutal. And now they had no limits. They were going to follow the enemy across space. They were going to find every ship, every base, every world that took part in this attack. And they were going to make sure no one ever forgot what happened when you brought war to Earth. The story of humanity was not over. It was just starting. The alien fleet still hovered above Earth. They didn't celebrate, they didn't leave, they waited, as if watching for the last breath of a dying world. But Earth didn't die. Not yet. Far beneath the surface, in old tunnels no map remembered, doors were opening. Dust poured out. Warning lights flickered. Inside these dark chambers, something Ancient woke up, something that had been asleep since before the last war. Buried in cold silence, machines the size of cities hummed to life. One room was different. In the center stood a black cube, floating above the ground. No buttons, no wires, just silence. Then, it spoke. Command accepted. Directive. War mode. The cube was not just a machine. It was an AI built by the old world, the kind of AI banned across the galaxy, smarter than any living human, colder than any machine. Designed for only one thing: win, no matter the cost. For 50 years, it had studied, simulated every war, calculated every weakness. It had predicted that Earth would be attacked one day, and now, that day had come. Inside the hidden base, more officers gathered, survivors, engineers, veterans, not many, but enough. Their eyes were hard, their voices low. They knew what this meant. They were no longer defenders. They were hunters. The AI pulled up old files, not from Earth, but from the stars. Before humans were ignored by the galaxy, they had listened, spied, watched alien movements. Every ship that fired on Earth had a home, a family, a base. And now, Earth knew where they all were. In a dark command room, the AI showed the team a massive map. Dots glowed across star systems, alien supply routes, colonies, fuel lines. One by one, targets appeared. Phase 1, eliminate communication. Phase 2, cut supply chains. Phase 3, collapse empire. There were no cheers, no celebration, only quiet nods. These people were not here for glory. They were here for justice. Meanwhile, in deep space, the first human warship entered alien territory. It was called Echo. Covered in armor, with no windows, no colors, just weapons. The alien outpost it found was small, a fuel station, no military force, no shields. Still, Echo didn't hesitate. It fired once. The explosion could be seen from the nearest moon. Alien transmissions lit up the stars. Unknown vessel, human origin, hostile, repeat, hostile, requesting backup. But it was too late. More human ships appeared. 5, then 10, then more. They moved together like wolves. No mercy, no warnings, no survivors. In the Galactic Council, panic spread. They had believed humans were weak, scattered, primitive. Now, they saw differently. Reports came in. Alien convoy destroyed in Sector 8. Mining colony turned to ash. Communication hub lost contact. And worse, strange coded messages were being broadcast in every direction. One alien leader, watching the footage, whispered, "This isn't war. This is a message." On one alien world, a commander sat in his fortress. He watched the stars. He saw one human ship approach. Only one. He laughed. Then, the sky exploded. The ship didn't use normal weapons. It used something darker. Something that tore metal apart like paper. The fortress collapsed in seconds. The commander didn't live long enough to understand what hit him. Back on Earth, the AI continued to run the war from the shadows. It didn't sleep. It didn't fear. It didn't forgive. It only asked one question over and over. Target locked. Shall we proceed? The humans said only one word, yes. The galaxy had forgotten Earth. Now it would remember. Forever. The stars were quiet again, but it was the wrong kind of quiet. The kind before a storm. Out in the far edges of space, an alien supply convoy moved through the darkness. Huge cargo ships floated in tight formation. Guards flew beside them, scanning. In every direction, they knew Earth had struck back. They just didn't know when the next blow would land. Then, it happened. The lead guard picked up something. A shadow. A strange signal. It wasn't normal. It didn't match any ship in their database. The signal came closer. Fast. Too fast. Before the alien pilot could react, the shadow passed straight through them. His ship split in half without a sound. Alarms screamed. Lights flashed. Enemy contact. Human signature. Unknown class. The other guards spun around, ready to fire. But there was nothing. Only silence again. Then the real horror began. One by one, the human ships appeared. No engine glow. No sound. No warning. Just war. Black, jagged, and silent. These weren't like Earth's old ships. These were something else, designed in secret. Built for revenge. The lead human ship was nicknamed Ghost Fang. It had no windows, no bridge, just weapons and armor. Its AI made decisions in microseconds. The alien guards opened fire. The lasers hit Ghost Fang and did nothing. The return shot from the human ship didn't just hit the enemy, it vaporized them. The alien convoy panicked. Some tried to escape, some begged for help. But the message Earth had sent was simple. No survivors, no mercy. One alien ship sent a distress call across 5 systems. Help! They're not ships, they're monsters in metal. We didn't even see them until it was too late. The signal cut off mid-scream. In the Galactic command center, the alien leaders gathered. They watched footage from the destroyed convoy. They slowed it down, frame by frame. What they saw made no sense. Human weapons bent around shields. Ships moved like they had no mass. Engines didn't match any known tech. How is this possible? One alien asked. Another whispered. They were hiding their real technology. This whole time. A deep silence followed. Then a third leader said the words no one wanted to hear. We didn't start a war with humans. We woke up something much worse. Back in deep space, the human warships finished their first mission. Every alien cargo ship destroyed. Every escort gone. Every signal silenced. The Ghost Fang sent a final message to Earth's hidden AI. Convoy erased. Phase 1 complete. The AI didn't reply with joy. It didn't need to. It only opened the next file. Target, fuel supply base. System, Vora 9. Command, erase. Inside one alien prison station, a young alien soldier sat alone. He had been captured months ago on a failed mission to Earth. He never believed the humans would survive. Now, he heard something from the wall, a small voice like a whisper through metal. We're coming. He backed away, trembling. That voice wasn't a threat. It was a promise. Far above, human warships now moved in packs. Silent, deadly, each one hunting, striking, vanishing. No signals, no demands. They were not here to talk. They were here to make the galaxy bleed. One alien general finally stood up and gave the order. Pull back all fleets, abandon the border, focus on defense. But it was already too late. Humanity had made its move. And now, no one was safe. Across the stars, fear had a new name. Human, alien leaders gathered behind locked doors. Their fleets were strong, their empires wide. But none of that mattered anymore. Something was wrong, deeply wrong. It wasn't just that humans were fighting back, it was how they were doing it. One by one, fleets disappeared without a trace. Outposts went silent. Colonies stopped responding. No survivors, no wreckage, no answers, just silence. In a Cold War room, a high-ranking alien commander replayed footage again and again. It showed a single human ship entering a system with 12 defense stations. Less than 5 minutes later, all 12 stations were gone, no missiles, no long battle, just gone. He zoomed in, frame by frame. He froze the image. The human ship didn't even change direction. It moved like a ghost, straight, silent, focused, as if it knew exactly where to strike, as if it had been there before. On the outer colonies, panic spread fast. Civilians loaded ships. Farmers abandoned fields. Miners left machines behind. One broadcast echoed through refugee channels. They are not like us. They don't take prisoners, they don't wait. We brought war to their home, now they've brought something worse to ours. In a military meeting deep inside a floating alien fortress, an officer shouted, "Why are their weapons cutting through our shields? Why are our tracking systems failing?" The answer came slowly from a science officer. Because their ships think faster than we do. They explained that Earth wasn't using normal AI. These systems didn't just react. They predicted. They learned with every second. And worst of all, they never forgot. On a quiet mining moon, an alien captain ran systems checks. The station had no weapons, no defense. It wasn't important. Or so he thought. Suddenly a red light blinked, unknown object approaching. Then it stopped. The captain tried to contact it. No answer. Then he saw it. A single human warship, floating just outside sensor range. No movement. No attack, just waiting. Watching. The captain froze. He didn't breathe. The warship left minutes later. It didn't fire. It didn't need to. It left a message behind on the moon's main screen. We remember. The fear now wasn't about war, it was about who was next. Even powerful alien empires began to whisper in secret. What if Earth planned this from the beginning? What if they let us think they were weak? What if this is only the start? One scholar pulled out a hidden scroll, an ancient warning written long ago during early space contact. The planet of storms and steel. Do not wake it. If fire falls on their soil, the stars will burn. The scroll was signed First Contact with Earth, Year 1. In the Galactic Senate, silence fell. An elder alien stood and finally spoke what no one dared say. We didn't destroy Earth. We created a monster. But Earth wasn't finished. Not yet. The AI back home had already launched Phase 3. It wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about control. The plan was working. Fear was spreading faster than war ever could. And soon, fear would do the work for them. In deep space, a group of alien scouts picked up a faint signal. They tried to decrypt it. They expected a command or a warning. What they got instead sent chills through their bones. It was a voice. Cold, calm, human, and it simply said, "Run." The stars were quiet, but something was moving. Alien patrols vanished near empty systems. Ships disappeared without distress calls. Bases shut down with no explosions. Something new had entered the war. Something the aliens couldn't see. And couldn't stop. They called it a myth. They were wrong. A large alien fleet was stationed in Sector 14, one of their strongest regions. 20 heavy warships, 70 fighters, full defense grid, untouchable. Then it all went dark. No alerts, no warnings, just silence. When the next scouting vessel arrived days later, they found nothing. No debris, no signals, no trace. Only one thing remained, etched into a scorched asteroid. Ghost Fleet was here. At first, the alien leaders laughed. Ghost Fleet, human propaganda, they said. But then it kept happening. Convoys vanished, outposts erased. Messages, left behind, always the same. You attacked Earth, now Earth watches you. Deep in the asteroid fields near the dead star of Gornax, the truth floated in the shadows. 12 warships, no flags, no light. Each one darker than space itself. No heat, no signal, no sound. These were Earth's shadow fleet, built in secret, during the silent years. They weren't part of Earth's old navy. They answered only to the AI. They were not crewed by humans, but by cold code and ancient rage. They were ghosts, and they had one mission: hunt without mercy. Their armor was made from materials no alien scanners could track. Their weapons were old, but improved with terrifying precision. They didn't talk. They didn't need to. They arrived. They destroyed. They vanished. In one outer colony, an alien child stared into the sky. Her people had heard rumors of human ships coming. She watched the stars every night. That evening, she saw something strange. No light. No fire. Just black shapes gliding silently across the stars like shadows with purpose. She whispered, "They don't fly. They float like death." Her father told her. It was just a dream. The next morning, the colony was gone. The alien empire began pulling back fleets from all outer zones. Commanders gave direct orders. Avoid unknown systems. If you see a ship, run. Do not engage. But it didn't help. The ghost fleet didn't need to be found. They were already inside. One alien spy managed to sneak onto a ruined warfield where a human ghost ship had struck. He wore stealth gear. He moved fast. He recorded everything. When he reached the battlefield, his blood froze. There was no battle. Only one thing stood in the center, a single untouched human warship. Its hull still warm. No damage. No defense. Marks all around it were wrecks. Alien ships torn apart, melted, sliced open. The spy aimed his scanner at the ship. Nothing. No signal. He stepped closer. Then a voice came from nowhere. "Leave now. We remember your face." He dropped his recorder and ran. The footage made it back to the Alien High Council. They watched it again and again. One said, "This isn't war. It's a purge." Another replied, "We're not fighting humans anymore. We're fighting death in a machine." At Earth's hidden command center, the AI tracked every ghost fleet kill. It did not smile. It did not pause. It only updated the list of targets. Another voice spoke in the dark room, an old general. He said, "They thought the war ended when they burned our cities." He stared at the screen as another alien fleet blinked out of existence. But the war only started when we built ghosts. The galaxy used to fear black holes. Now it feared black ships more, ships with no light, no pilots, no voice, only one purpose: to make the stars remember Earth forever. It began with a red flash in the night sky. On a peaceful alien colony world, children were sleeping, markets were closing, and guards stood relaxed near tall gates. Then the stars blinked out, one by one, not because of clouds, but because something enormous was blocking the sky. A black ship. No lights, no sound, just drifting, above the city, watching. Then the fires fell. Screams echoed as buildings exploded from above. The air turned hot. Sirens rang out across the capital, but they were useless. The defense towers never fired, because the human ghost fleet had jammed every system before striking. The invaders didn't need to land. They didn't need to speak. They simply burned the sky, then vanished. A hidden camera recorded the event. The last thing it saw was a message written in ash across the clouds. "You burned Earth while we slept. Now you sleep while we burn yours." In a distant control room, the alien high command received the footage. Silence. Then shouting. "How did they reach the core planets? These zones are protected by 5 fleets. No ships were seen. Entering the system." One voice trembled. "They're already inside. They've always been inside." Panic gripped the Empire. Colonies sent distress signals. But no help came. The ghost fleet had cut deep into their network. Teleport relays destroyed, warp paths blocked, commanders missing. Some planets were so scared, they surrendered before any human ship arrived. Meanwhile, on Earth, the AI watched it all unfold. It marked every target. It calculated every move. It launched Phase 4. Strike at night. Leave no message. Only fear. On another alien world, a general slept inside a mountain bunker. He believed he was safe. He was wrong. A sudden boom shook the ground. Lights died. His guards were gone in seconds. He ran through the halls calling for help. At the exit, the giant steel door opened slowly. Through the dust, a single black figure stood. A drone from the ghost fleet. No face, no voice. Just a burning mark on its chest, Earth's broken flag. The general whispered, "I'm sorry." The drone raised its arm, then nothing but white light. The alien empire began falling apart. One moon shut down its own reactor just to hide. One royal family escaped into deep space with no destination. Some soldiers even removed their uniforms to look like civilians, but the Ghost Fleet didn't care. It hunted based on memory. It followed scars. It didn't forget one alien reporter broadcasted live as cities burned behind him. These humans are not invading. They're erasing. They don't want peace. They want us to feel what they felt. The silence. The fire. The loss. He turned toward the sky. A black shape passed over. Then the signal cut out. In the Galactic Senate, what was once proud now shook with fear. One leader whispered, "We thought they were primitive." Another said, "We thought they were slow." And a third stood and shouted, "They were patient. We were wrong. Now we all pay." Back on Earth, the survivors gathered in underground cities. They watched the stars light up, not with hope, but with alien fires. And above it all, the Warfleet kept moving, hunting, striking. The AI's voice echoed in the command room. "This is not revenge. This is memory. Turn to fire." The message was clear across the galaxy. You came to our world while we slept. Now we burn yours while you dream. Across the stars, the war looked over. The alien empire had fallen. Its ships were broken. Its leaders were gone. Its people hid behind shadows, praying the next scream wouldn't be their world. But Earth didn't stop, not because it wanted more blood, but because the mission wasn't over. The AI that led the Ghost Fleet received its final command from deep beneath Earth's surface. Ensure it never happens again. The meaning was clear. Do not. Just win. Control what comes next. Alien survivors begged for peace. They sent messages, offered gifts, even asked for forgiveness. But no answer came, only a new pattern. Human warships now blocked trade routes. They sat above old starports. They silently watched border systems. They weren't firing, they were reminding. A council of alien refugees formed on a drifting station near a dying sun. They invited a human ambassador to talk. He arrived alone, no weapons, no guards. He stood before them, calm. They asked, "What do you want now? The war is over?" He answered slowly, "No, the war you started is over. But we've seen what peace means in your hands. So now, we will write the rules." And Earth did. Across the galaxy, new laws were broadcast. Not with approval, not with debate, but with absolute clarity. No species may invade a developing world. No empire may silence a cry for help. Any force that starts war will face Earth's justice. The words were cold, but behind them was fire. Some alien races tried to resist. They vanished. Others obeyed, shaking in fear. And then something new happened. Small species began to rise. Worlds once under alien control now had human protection. Earth didn't build an empire. It became the balance, but not all humans returned home. Some stayed in space. Some joined the Ghost Fleet. And some disappeared into deep unknown sectors, waiting, watching, protecting, or punishing. Back on Earth, the survivors came out from bunkers and ruins. They looked up at the stars, not in fear, but in powerful silence. The pain was still there. The memories still burned. But they had done something no one expected. They made the galaxy remember who they were. A message was sent from Earth. One final signal across every system. You brought war to Earth. Now every star remembers that mistake. We are not your enemy, unless you make us one. And somewhere, in a dark corner of space, a small alien ship picked up the message. The captain asked, "Should we respond?" The crew stayed quiet, because they knew you don't answer a ghost. You just pray it keeps flying past. The war ended, but the fear did not. Because humans weren't chasing revenge anymore. They were chasing something bigger, a galaxy that never forgets.